You lead the field among stand-ups for death threats?
Yeah, I was the first one to get them.
Why?
I had this when I was, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I mean, I don't know exactly. So I had this when I was starting in National Lampoon's was doing this like fake reality show pitches. It was like the idea was they went up, it was all faked, but they all found a box of pitches for a reality show up in like the offices of NBC or something, but the craziest pitches possible. One was like, I can throw up on command. Another was like,
I'd watch that.
Yeah. And it was this guy who drank Ipecac and just like barfed everywhere. And mine was called The Amazing Racist, off The Amazing Race. And it was just like a super overboard, right? They came to me with the idea and I was like, that's funny, but let's like really go for it if we're going to go for it.
No, but that was the thing. I've seen that.
Oh, you have?
You're Amazing Racist?
Yeah.
Going to the black convenience store in a Klan outfit?
Yeah. So either you get it or you don't. If you're mad, I can see why you get mad, but also like.
But why? I mean, that's
you don't
so over the top that of course you're joking.
If I'm throwing oranges, at a Mexican yelling, go back to Africa, that you can't see maybe, or like, wait, but you're Jewish. I'm like, right. So if I'm wearing a Klan outfit and I'm a comedian as a Jew wearing a Klan outfit.
Probably not in the Klan.
Probably not in the Klan. You see, it's ridiculous. Anyway, so my buddy Duncan Trussell, who's a great comic and hilarious and weird, he built a website saying, if you prank my friend Ari Shaffir, send him a prank call, record it, I'll give you $20 for the best one. This was before all that stuff came out. So the National Lampoon's DVD came out and then somebody ripped it to the internet. So pretty early YouTube was like this, without context of National Lampoon's, just me going, hi, I'm Ari Shaffir. I'm The Amazing Racist. Let me do this horrible thing right now. Anyway, so people like saw it, Googled my name. The first thing that came up was Duncan. Before you even click on the Google search, it just says Ari Shaffir phone number. So that
was it your actual phone number?
Yeah. So but it was pre-doxing. It was before any of that,
before America got dangerous.
Yeah. So I would just start getting phone calls. It was great.
Like what?
Oh, I'll fucking kill you. You think you're so funny. One of them was I picked up a bunch of Latinos, Mexicans, saying I want you to fix my deck, and then drove them to the INS building. Started yelling La Migra, and they ran out. Whatever. It was funny. Nobody was hurt in the making of it.
But people took it seriously.
People took it seriously. My favorite one was, I'll build a deck in your ass, Holmes. I would just get calls all the time. I had to put my ringer on mute.
But do you think,
they weren't serious, though. None of them were real. So when people go, I've been threatened, I'm like, shut up. This isn't a real thing. I've been getting it for 20 years.
But do you think anybody was actually offended?
It's instructive because I would get a few like messages, Facebook back then or MySpace even. And it was like, fuck you. You're a piece of shit. I'm Mexican. How dare you? And then I'd like write back like, it's just a joke. I actually paid all those guys $50 and took them back to where they were working. Like nothing actually happened. And I drove them to a library. It wasn't even like, it just looked like the INS building. And then they would respond like, oh, okay. I actually did think it was funny. I laughed when I saw it. I'm like, so we went from laughing when you saw it to threatening me because you're supposed to.
And that is what it is, right? People feel this like moral obligation to be mad about certain things.
But your real reaction is you were laughing.
So do you ever get people walking out of your shows?
Yeah, all the time. All the time.
Why do you think they do that?
Number of reasons. Too dirty is the main.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about sex. So that's an okay one.
Yeah.
It used to be the dirty comics were like, it's cheap, you're dirty. Oh, you talk about blowjobs. And it was like, okay, fine. And so then the clean comics were like, I'm a well-written comedian. I can do, whatever. And they would just look down on us, but it wasn't a moral thing.
Right.
Now it's a moral thing. They put them on a moral high ground. They put these people on moral low ground. So like, you're kind of evil for doing it. Not just like cheap or easy. You're wrong. You are wrong.
You're immoral.
Yeah. And it's like, but it's the same thing.
So sex is one.
Sex is one. I mean, I remember I had a, at the Comedy Cellar, I'll have people walk out all the time. The door guys laugh about it. They're like, every time somebody leaves crying, it's you. they walk out past me, literally crying, and it's always a drunk white woman. It is
100%. That's who yells at me. What is that?
They suck.
Why do you think?
They've never had any problems. So they have the slightest problem. Like, this is the worst. You ever see rich people? They're like, my flight was delayed. And like, shut up. You sat in first class and your flight was delayed an hour and you're bitching. Shut up.
So you think it's just like any inconvenience?
They've never, right. So this is the worst case scenario, is a slight inconvenience. I had to hear something I didn't like to hear.
But in a functioning society, you have a man at home to calm you down. Maybe that's part of the problem.
Well, you see it at the shows. The man that's with them sometimes is either like quiet or they're just like you could see them resigned to like, you deal with it, bro. I'm not gonna fuck. I gotta live with it. So if I tell her to shut up, this is a month of pain.
Do they heckle you?
Yeah, they'll get mad. So I had a lady walking outside like maybe a year ago, and I remember like, oh, this lady got really mad. I didn't notice it, but like she was really mad. And I was like, which joke? Was it Holocaust stuff? Was it Down syndrome stuff? Was it the war in Gaza stuff? Like it could have been any one thing. And it's not all of them. It's the only thing that you feel personally like this is the line, is the one that walk out on. And I didn't think anything of it. And then I was hanging out, had a drink up there. And then I left like 30 minutes later. And this is always the fun. They want to tell you that they were right. And I'm walking out and I pass by some woman. She goes, "You're a piece of shit."
Yeah, I've gotten that. What did you say?
Yeah, the lady. I just started laughing in her face and walked away. I'm not going to give her an argument.
So she stayed to tell you that?
Yeah. It's funny when they leave and then stay. It used to be just write a shitty Yelp review if you didn't get the service you wanted.
And how did she respond when you laughed at her?
They can't understand it. They're like, "No, you should be mad." I'm like, "I'm not combating you. I was just making jokes. Everybody else was laughing. I'm just doing this for the joy." But it's also funny when you walk out angry. We're all laughing at you for not getting it.
And it's not, you never rise to the bait.
I have before.
Yeah.
But it's never a good idea.
No, it's not a good idea.
Yeah. It's just fun to toy with them. You know? To be like, "I think you're right and I will learn from this." It's just fun to fuck with them sometimes.
Has it gotten better or worse? It feels like people are freer to say what they think all of a sudden.
Yeah, internet, everyone feels they have their 40 followers. So like they're a celebrity.
No, but I mean, it feels like the strike zone is wider than it was 2 years ago.
What do you mean strike zone?
I mean, you're allowed to say more things, or there are fewer umpires, or they're just...
We're allowed to say more things? Or the angry people allowed to say more things?
Everybody's allowed to say more things.
Right.
It felt like there for a while, there were only like 4 things you were allowed to say. And now I hear people giving opinions.
Gen Z is way better than millennials.
Why?
Gen Z, okay, so you ski or snowboard?
Yeah.
Which one?
Ski.
Nice.
Well, obviously I don't snowboard. I mean, come on now.
Yeah. Well, so I was a skier in late 80s, snowboard started, mid 80s?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "I'm not skiing. That's my fucking dad. I'm a snowboarder. It's cool." And then a generation passed, and now the kids are like, "I'm not snowboarding. That's for my father."
Yeah.
So they go the opposite way.
I stayed true to skiing and it never changed. Yeah.
Always.
Do you still ski?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All mountains should be no snowboard mountains.
I completely agree. I think there's only
punks.
one in the United States.
Jumping out of the fucking Alta in Utah.
Deer Valley, too.
Deer Valley, yeah. Yeah. Icon's got it right.
They wreck the snow.
They wreck the snow. They slide down. It's Mogul City after they get done with it.
And they take out old people, which I will be soon.
They jump out of the trees.
Oh, I know.
Have a spotter.
I know.
Just have a fucking spotter.
And they're too high, actually.
Well,
little high is fine, but they're way too high. I mean, I've seen snowboard. I
fell off a lift.
You fell off a lift?
And drunk. I was trying to get on. You know the thing where you put your skis under you? So I was like, I saw some cool people do. I was like, let me do that. And I was trying to do it, but then I started getting pushed. And I'm like trying to do it, and then I was just down.
That hurts.
It does hurt.
Yeah, your bindings don't release when you fall off a ski lift.
Yeah, it was on the floor though, and then, so I was trying to put my head up. Some old man just shoved my head back down because it was going to chop it off.
So you think people in their 20s are better than people in their 30s?
Yeah.
And 40s?
So anyway, these people in the Gen Zers looked at the millennials, their aunts and their fucking whatever, and they're like, "You guys are angry, and we don't want to be like you." And they understand, at least for stand-up comedy, like, we know they're not serious. You guys didn't know they weren't serious. We know they're not serious. So when they say, I don't know, let's bring slavery back. Let's give it another chance. We know you're being ridiculous. We know it's Jonathan Swift. It's fine.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.